Yeah, unrollers. I me say family. Sure.
If I want thing, me hate a fern killer. Me no believe in a fern killer. Family.
So, thank you for tuning in, guys. Do we need to introduce it then, or it's fine?
I think it's right.
It's right. Cool. We want to say thank you for tuning in, and yeah, like we're here. We're gonna do a little celebration with some non-alcoholic wine and some story time. Can someone talk? I just feel like I'm just talking. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just thirsty.
So do we shake it?
Shake it. What, for the cork to?
Wait, hold on.
I can take it out. Be careful.
What do I direct it to?
Away
Not
from
me.
your face.
Not to the phone. Okay. Right.
I really should be doing this, you know.
You're okay. You did last time at home. What? Oh. Got a bit, you know, technical. So guys, we want to thank you for streaming, commenting and liking our video. How does it taste? Great.
Much appreciated, everyone.
So we're just gonna have, you know, yeah. We'll give you more of an insight on what we did, do you know what I mean? Because you've been asking for it, so it's actually really worked. That was a freaking boring. Nice try. We're actually gonna try and keep this short and sweet. I'm not longing out, trying to keep it on like a 10-minute kind of, you know, what's that thing called? So I decided to start off the story time, and I'm going to start it from when we first kind of made the plan. So we had some plans on trying to make our journey away from England. We've been looking for a place to stay. Not, we weren't homeless, but like an alternative address, obviously, since the longest time I can remember. We've been in Tottenham all our lives, so you haven't it?
Yeah.
We actually OG Tottenham people. 1996, 1999, and 1998.
Yeah.
OGs. What are you telling me? Where did we used to live? We used to live in Rosebery Avenue, so that's behind Aldi, so like SG. Then we kind of moved to MPK for a bit. Then we moved to... We did for like a week or so, like a temporary housing place.
Yeah, I was probably like 2 years old.
Yeah, and then we moved...
I don't think I was born.
And then we moved to Farm, and then we moved...
We did?
We did. We used to live behind Farm.
Like William Road.
Off the avenue.
How old was I? Like 2, 3?
I don't know. We were there for like a couple of months or so, or a year or so. And then we moved to the OG street, Sperling Road. If you know, you know. Anyway, so that's kind of history of what we've done in terms of movements. We've all been away kind of, well, me and Gabby been away for university for like a year or 2 or 3. I did 3 years, innit? Yeah, 3 years. And I'm at Birmingham. Not that you need to know that, but yeah, so the preparations we did. So I feel like we first started off, and the first base is kind of to talk with the family. So sit down, have meetings, consult with each other, kind of come to understanding of where you are financially, where you are spiritually, and where you are like in terms of careers, or so if you're in school, if you're like in a job, if you're, do you know what I mean, if you're looking to progress in a job, just kind of have a honest conversation on where you are at. That's step number 1. We did that between us 3. Both of them to be in university. Josie took a gap year out, and Gabby was going to her 2nd year of university. I believe COVID came at a good time because it kind of put a pause on things, so we can actually kind of... I'm actually really thirsty, so I'm not drinking. I put a pause on things, on how we kind of saw things going, and it allowed us to have the time to sit down and kind of analyse our situation. Forgive me if I'm talking fast, because I have a habit of doing that. So when we kind of analysed where we were, we did a lot of prayer. And we did prayer and fasting. So obviously the fasting was helping us kind of take away our bodily urges, focus on the task ahead, kind of allow ourselves to have insight on where we was actually going to go without having the constant fleshly desires to like junk food, you know the rest. So I'm not even going to get into it too tough because it's not really on this segment. So after the prayer and fasting, we did research. So how we kind of start, and they're very quiet because we're just taking turns on each section to kind of talk on different parts on everything. They're not just sitting here just for the show. So we did research on politics, what African countries best suited us in terms of where it was. We didn't want nowhere that was too landlocked, so we kind of looked at the coastline on kind of African countries. We looked at the people in power. I don't want to get too much in politics, I don't want this video to be taken down, but we had a look at the person that's in power in this country. We liked what he stands for. We liked the way he was ruling the country, what ruling the country, he was obviously governing. So we kind of came here because of that. We did check out how the place looked, the cities, what was there to offer in terms of education and just that in general. So that's how we came to Tanzania, and we kind of prayed about it. We had a couple other countries that we was thinking about, which one? Is it Mozambique? Angola. We was thinking about Angola as well. Ethiopia. Kenya.
Rwanda was on the list.
Rwanda. Namibia.
South Africa.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, those were the countries. East, southern east.
Kind of countries.
Yeah, east, yeah.
So we rounded it down. We had a look at to be honest, how I kind of started to look at the countries was just looking at Google Images if I could actually see myself living in that place. So I researched beaches that were there. Tapped a couple videos on YouTube to see like the scenery, because obviously I've never been to those parts of Africa. Then I started getting into YouTube and seeing other YouTubers that made their way over here from England or like America, and seeing how they settled out here to see if I could kind of settle here. So once we came to a decision, well not me, we came to a decision that it was actually a right place to come to and was feeling positive about it, but henceforth. So once we found the location, it was tickets, and obviously we were travelling during COVID period, so it was a lot of checking up on BBC News to see what the travel restrictions were, a lot of checking ticket prices, and the apps we kind of used for that were Skyscanner, which is the best app kind of that was comparing the price from different airlines and different people that are offering the same ticket. After that, it was applying for our visa, and obviously we are on a 90-day visa, so it's for 3 months, and then you reapply for it to stay here again. Hopefully get approved, but you know. So we did that, and yeah, so when we applied for a ticket now, we looked at all the airlines, that what they were offering, what we had to have, and what the requirements. Some of them asked for you to have a PCR form or COVID test on when you're coming out here to say it's a negative, and you have to present it to when you get out across the border, and you might have to take another one to prove to the government that you're negative from COVID. The airline we went with was Egypt Air, and on their airline, because Dar es Salaam was not asking for a COVID test, we didn't need a COVID test at all. We just needed a face mask to travel on the plane. So yeah, that was another thing why we went for that airline. It was an 11-hour flight, which was good as well, so we didn't have to spend too much time stopping over in Egypt. That's one kind of thing we did for preparation. Another thing we did was just downsizing, and you can imagine we've been in that house for like 19 years, sorry. Been there for 19 years, so you can imagine how much stuff we have in that house. So we had to go through all our personal belongings, kind of like see if we really wanted it, the stuff, or if we wanted to keep it, throw it away, if it was useful, if we could ship it over and stuff, and we tried to keep the weight as minimum as possible. Another thing was being real with ourselves, what we really wanted to take out there. Are we going to start from scratch, or are we going to kind of take as much stuff from England across the border? That's the kind of decision you need to make as a family, or for a collective, if it's a couple friends going, or personally, if you want to just start afresh, just get rid of everything and come with like a suitcase and a couple of things shipped over. Now, the company we went with is MK Logistics, and they ship to East Africa, and we've done some stuff by sea and some stuff by air, and we did pay for extra luggage. It seems like a lot of information, but you guys asked for this, so yeah. We paid for luggage, extra luggage. Me and Joseph paid for extra luggage, and we filled it up with stuff that we knew we would need as soon as we came out here. Because Gabby does obviously her personal training and her masseuse, she had to get stuff air freighted because it was too big to put in an extra suitcase. So So that's what she did, and that took up to a week or so to come. But due to COVID, it kind of was delayed because of the shipment stuff were kind of taking longer. Well, what else? Make sure you have, if you haven't travelled to Africa before, have your yellow card. So that has like a couple of your shots, which are yellow fever, which most African countries require. This country don't require it, but if you want to kind of travel in between African countries, they might ask you on arrival if you have your yellow fever card.
This country doesn't require anything really.
No, it doesn't really. That's what. Typhoid, yeah.
It's important.
It's important. So I feel like those are the two main jabs. Anything else they're trying to give you, they're trying to kill you. Do you know what I mean? Because if you come over here and you catch it, there's plenty of medications and doctors that can assist you at hand. Yeah, we had looked for Airbnbs. We looked at images that we liked, and we came to the conclusion of what one we wanted to go for, and we booked it. And obviously was in constant contact with the Airbnb owner. Yeah, so that's my segment done, and I'm going to pass you on to Gabby.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so what was next? Traveling, guys. I can't stress enough. When you're traveling, if you're travel sick like me, make sure you literally take into consideration how much water you're drinking, how much fluid is in your system, whether it's ginger tea, like stock up on your teas, how much food you're eating as well, and also,
I'm so sorry, I forgot we were recording.
how much fluids, food, and etc. is in your system, because mate, that was a bumpy travel. So we left on what day? 22nd.
The 22nd.
Yeah. So we left. Okay, let me just cut a long story short. We left on the 22nd of December in the morning.
Yeah, it was afternoon. It was like a 1 o'clock flight.
Okay,
1 or
so
2 o'clock flight.
we left in the morning to get to the airport for the afternoon. Our flight was at 1 or 2 o'clock. So obviously that was all smooth. We took a cab down there. Obviously it's my first time being to, was it Heathrow?
It was Heathrow, yeah.
Yeah, my first time being to Heathrow, so obviously it was new to me,
Terminal
kind of
2.
thing. Yeah, Terminal 2.
Shout out to my friend Princella for giving us, like, she paid for a cab.
Yeah, big shout outs.
Thank you.
And her sister like sent us off really nicely. They came to our house, so I just wanted to put that shout out in there. And shout out to everyone that gave us money on our travels and that supported us and done anything. So big shout out to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone wants the name mentioned, so that's what I just say. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, obviously the day before I went to a girlfriend.
Just keep your feet still.
Sorry. Long legs.
Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Okay. A day before I went to my dear friend's house, Maria, you know who you are. Her grandma obviously cooked me food in it, so I just had to eat bare, like, because I knew the next day I was gonna feel sick. So the next day I kind of had like a little bit of.
It's not about your personal journeys, but
no, I know I'm
Because we didn't get any of that food, so don't include it.
Sorry, okay.
no, it's still continuing.
Obviously I'm talking about myself, but just come with it. You guys just wait. So obviously I had food the day before. My sister told me to eat because I have a thing where I get very like, you know, drowsy when I'm travelling. So yeah, we took the cab down there, got to Heathrow. We were on time for our plane journey. The first flight was from Heathrow to Cairo, Egypt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Egypt Air, like what Danielle said. So we took Egypt
Tell me about the kosher meal we had. We picked kosher.
Oh yeah, Joseph thought it was a good idea.
Yes, it was a good idea to pick kosher. So what I found is, during my travels, when you pick a meal that's got dietary requirement or kosher, you get more food. You get double the amount. I've seen everybody else here, this is what I studied in it. So when I see everybody else getting their basic cheese and tomato sandwich with a packet of crisps and a little box juice like this, then when you got the kosher meal...
What kind of budget airlines have you been travelling on?
Well, okay, anyway.
Packet of crisps.
Yeah, some biscuits, some small biscuits. But our kosher meal, it had so fruit salad, which was frozen. So I had to wait for that to defrost. And then apple crumble, which was also frozen. So you had to wait for that to defrost as well.
Everything was frozen.
We had, what else? We had juice, we had water, which was frozen.
We had smoked salmon.
Which
salmon.
was frozen.
Was it frozen? It was cold.
It was just cold.
Oh,
Yeah, that was just
everything
chilled.
else was
Smoked
salmon,
smoked salmon with olives. And then the bread was nice. The bread roll was nice. And crackers as well.
And then we had fish and rice.
Fish and rice dish, which took forever to come. I think that was from frozen as well.
It didn't take forever to come. We had to reheat it twice because it's partially frozen when we first got it.
Oh yeah, I don't think they didn't.
Heat it through.
I think the first flight of the day going to Egypt or from that, they just weren't ready for us.
I'm so sorry for cutting you off, Gabby.
But it was a nice meal. So if you go on airplanes, try to make it seem like
you're vegetarian or something. They'll come with something.
Or
not vegetarian.
Little vegan requirement.
We put kosher, so
kosher or vegan because you get twice the amount of food.
Halal, something cheeky. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to really be eating like that, but you know you can eat anything. Well, what a dragonfly again? Okay.
Okay, where were we at?
About the flight and the meals.
Okay, so
that's the first flight,
yeah. The first flight that went okay. The meal went down okay. Started to feel a little bit, sick and dizzy. So I took.
So the flies is the drink that's all over my body.
Right. So I had to halfway through the flight when these two were conked out. Or I don't know what Joseph was watching videos or movies with a thing that weren't even in English. So. You was watching movies on that.
It's English.
No, it wasn't. It was written in Arabic at the bottom because it's Egypt.
Oh, I was like 5 minutes and then I stopped watching.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, and then Daniel was sleeping in the corner, looking out the window. I don't know what she was doing, but I had to get up and go in the bathroom and just like refresh myself because I was feeling very dizzy. I was feeling very dizzy, and
you spilled yours on the floor.
And then after that, can I continue? It was a connecting flight, so after we stopped at Cairo, Egypt, we got off the airplane and then went through, the tunnel thing and then connected to, where was it?
It was going to Kenya.
Cairo to Kenya, Nairobi.
Via Dar es Salaam.
Yeah, via Dar es Salaam. So we took that flight now, and that's when everything just went downhill. Like, we came into the flight, onto the plane, and it was all like cramped and squashed in it. Like there was barely. I didn't
think that much people were travelling, but a lot of people were trying to get to Dar es Salaam, primarily, and Nairobi.
And everything was just cooped up, and then we all sat down, and then they came with the meal, but this meal wasn't even kosher. They didn't even listen to our requirements.
No, they did. They said, they tapped me because I was sitting on the air. They were like, we don't have kosher. We
Yeah.
don't have kosher. I said, I knew they were lying. Yeah, they gave us some nasty blue.
Only enough for the first class passengers.
They were like, we don't have kosher. We don't have. I said, but I know you have kosher, so don't lie to me. They gave us a cheese roll sandwich. They gave us an extra sandwich for compensation. The bread was dry, and we don't even eat cheese. And the other one was, what is it? Was it chicken?
A chocolate.
Was it chocolate sandwich?
No, not sandwich. A chocolate brownie.
A brownie. Yeah. That was alright. You like that?
Yeah, that tasted fine. And the apple, my apple
the sandwich
was
in
all
the
battered up.
juice.
And the sandwich, it was just not okay.
Nice.
So, obviously, this is the part I'll interject on Gabby's story because it was a really, there's a lot of not altitude problem. Is it altitude?
Technical?
No, but that's all of that.
Turbulence.
Turbulence, that's not altitude problem. So, at this time, Joseph was hard out sleeping with his headphones on. Gabby was doing her. That's when, what's
going on?
When you're feeling weak. She was like, and then I was just there awake because I was feeling like I can't go to sleep. Someone has to be keeping watch. And bear in mind, every time the guy was passing by, I was asking for water because I didn't know how hot it was going to be on the other side. So I was the one collecting the water bottles in my bag, asking him back and forth for the water bottle.
We took turns. I did the first trip.
What? You asked for water once?
Yeah, and I stayed awake on the first leg. Until I just fell asleep for the whole time.
It was daytime.
Yeah, but I still stayed awake.
Joseph stayed awake for the daytime. So, Gabby's now in her chair now.
Why are you acting like I'm possessed?
That's the turbulence.
Oh.
Yeah.
So shake the chair then.
I can't. I'm not shaking the camera's gonna start moving. I'm just trying to assimilate the thing. So, she's like, as a sister, you can kind of understand what your sister needs from these noises that she makes. She went, I said, what? She went, I said, it's time. Listen, I grabbed, was it the front of the seat? Come out with the sit bag. Let me shut it down. Put your head down. I was taking out water and the other thing. She's like, bleh. At this time, we're poking Joseph.
Joseph was sleeping.
Joseph is with the headphones. I said, Joseph, we need you. So I was like, Mr. Smith, we need you. Joseph, we need you. Joseph's still sleeping. Gabby's.
No, I think somebody tapped me.
I tapped you. I tapped you before.
You tried to tap it. You tried to tap it.
Yeah.
I barged him.
You tried to use too polite.
I was
then
tapping
no,
him.
no,
Joseph,
listen,
Joseph like that.
Nah, you must have been like this.
No, I didn't. Because I tapped you like once.
Okay, your hands.
No, but if you're meant to wait, if you're feeling like this, yeah, just go like that, yeah.
Okay,
Just-
alright, we get the
no.
point.
He
we get
was-
the point. He was meant to barge him. Barge him. She was meant to barge him, but that never happened. So she finished vomiting. I was thinking, right, job well done. Like, no one even on the airplane knew that she was vomiting. So I was thinking, this coronavirus, right? You don't want people to be thinking you're having a full on.
I say let's hide that sick, you know,
Yeah,
let's
just
hide it.
So then we just wrapped up in a bag, you know, disposed of it. So we have rubbish, but it was a whole bag full of sick. God bless the man that took that stuff in it. But we done that. And by this time, I had a whole bunch of water in my bag, and I've been collecting this because the man was starting to get fed up. I kept asking for water. I know what I'm drinking. I was just like, water.
Literally.
So now, continue the story.
Okay, so we get to the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get to the airport on the other side. I don't know what it's called.
Julius. No.
I don't.
God
Let's not
forgive us.
pronounce it because
It's Julius something. The airport's called
Yeah.
Julius Nyre, something like this.
I forgot the name, you know.
let's
oh
just
my
say
gosh.
Julius Caesar. No, I'm
It's not
joking.
Julius
Don't use them.
Okay, so we get to the airport now, and we push through our stuff. Like we're waiting for our stuff to come through, like the conveyor belts, isn't it?
No, before we got there,
No.
we walked through. They done a temperature test.
Did they?
They did. They checked our temperature digitally to see.
Oh
it was on point.
yeah. Sorry.
Blow on Gabby's forehead.
Yeah, because I was hot.
Take yourself
fam.
off, take yourself off, cool down.
Straight out of Babylon.